If you're a fan of my content and you want even more, head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainElium, link in the description, for live streams 5 days a week. Come and join our amazing community. Hey everybody, AceTrainElium here and welcome to another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form or a branched evolution or counterpart Pokemon like we're looking at today. We have a look at the differences between the Pokemon in question and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome battle between them just for a little bit of fun. If you're already a fan of Form Fight and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button, show you're enjoying this series, and of course hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss an episode. With all that out the way, let's have a look at today's challenges. Today on Form Fight, we're going to be comparing the two counterpart Pokemon Seviper and Zangoose. These Pokemon have a long storied rivalry in the Hoenn region, but what makes these two Pokemon so different? Let's take a look. According to the Pokedex, Seviper is 2.7 meters long and weighs 52.5 kilograms. According to the Pokedex, Seviper shares a generations-long feud with Zangoose. The scars on its body are evidence of vicious battles. This Pokemon attacks using its sword-edged tail. As for Zangoose, it stands at 1.3 meters tall and weighs 40.3 kilograms. Its Pokedex information says memories of battling its arch-rival Seviper are etched into every cell of Zangoose's body. This Pokemon adroitly dodges attacks with incredible agility. Appearance-wise, Seviper is a large black snake creature with a red scythe for a tail and long red fangs, with yellow markings on its head and body, and a few purple scars. Zangoose looks to be a cross between a mongoose, obviously what it's based on, and maybe some kind of feline creature, which explains why it's called the cat ferret Pokemon, and kind of resembles a poorly made fursuit, with white fur and red markings made to resemble battle scars. In their shiny forms, Seviper's gold markings change to green, and its purple scars to red, and its red details switch to blue. As for Zangoose, its red markings turn blue, and its charcoal claws switch to orange. Now let's have a look at the typing, weaknesses, and resistances of these Pokemon. Seviper is a pure poison type, which makes it weak to ground and psychic type moves. It resists fighting, poison, bug, grass, and fairy type attacks, and has no immunities. As for Zangoose, it's a pure normal type Pokemon, which makes it weak to only fighting type moves. However, it has no resistances, but is completely immune to ghost type attacks. Now let's have a look at the stats and abilities of these counterpart Pokemon. While Seviper has brilliant attack and special attack, it has pretty average HP and below average defense and special defense, leaving it quite vulnerable. It also has below average speed, which leaves it as a sitting duck against most opponents. Its primary ability is Shed Skin, which gives a 1 in 3 chance each turn that Seviper will recover from a status condition. This is great for giving this mon more staying power, since it can shrug off damaging statuses like Burn, which will also halve Seviper's attack, making it even more important to be able to remove, as well as eliminating statuses that prevent movement, like Paralysis, Freeze, or Sleep. Its hidden ability is Infiltrator, which ignores barriers like Reflect, Light Screen, or Substitute. This allows Seviper to battle without its firepower being affected, which is fantastic for Seviper since its offensive stats are all it really has going for it. Having those hindered by walls and substitutes would be a real killer for this Pokemon. As for Zangoose, it's a quicker Pokemon with impressive physical attack, average HP, and below average defense, and special attack. Zangoose does have an edge here since it can hit faster and much harder, even with a similar lack of bulk. Its primary ability is Immunity, which prevents Zangoose from being poisoned. Not only is this perfect from a lore perspective, protecting it against the status conditions its natural rival can cause, but also is useful for allowing Zangoose to remain in battle a lot longer. Although granted, most people will know not to even try and poison Zangoose given its other ability, so the likelihood of this ability being useful competitively is very low. Its hidden ability is Toxic Boost, which raises Zangoose's attack by 50% when it's poisoned. This is excellent for getting more firepower out of Zangoose, but as I mentioned before, it's highly unlikely anyone would try and use a poison-inducing move on a Zangoose, knowing they have a 50% chance of not being able to poison it at all if it has immunity, or a 50% chance that it'll have Toxic Boost and you'll actually raise its attack. See what I mean? You're kind of very unlikely to be in a situation where someone's going to deliberately trigger these abilities. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two Pokemon I prefer, and I'm leaning towards Seviper, mainly because it looks cooler, because I think Zangoose to me just looks a bit like a guy in a badly made bunny costume. It looks like a furry that didn't have a lot of money, so couldn't get a good quality fursuit, you know what I mean? Not one of those really cool ones that looks like a dog. It's just like, hey, I wanted to be a bunny for my fursona, but I had to make this from scratch, and it really shows. I just think Zangoose looks crap, and I know there are a lot of people that disagree, but there's just as many that agree, so I'm comfortable with that. In terms of its abilities as well, I think Zangoose has been dealt a wank card, really. Both its abilities involve it being poison, which means that no one's going to try and poison you, because they'll either not be able to do it and waste a turn, thus you can attack, or they're going to boost your attack stat, in which case you're going to knock them out more easily. So no one's ever going to use a poison type move, so you might as well have an ability like Klutz or something, because it's just useless. On the other hand, Seviper actually has abilities it can take advantage of. Shed Skin is a really useful ability because, of course, you can't use items in competitive play to actually remove status conditions, so it saves you having to use a move like Aromatherapy or something, and a 1 in 3 chance is a pretty good chance of losing that status condition. An Infiltrator as well is a great ability for getting past barriers and substitutes, because often substitutes can be a massive hindrance to your battle plan, so having an Infiltrator Pokemon can be really handy. I just think Seviper overall is a better Pokemon and has been dealt a much better hand than Zangoose. But of course, it's not just up to me to decide, it's up to you guys to decide which is your favorite. But before you do, let's see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome battle. Before we get started, I'll point out these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs on all stats. They're not holding any items. They've got neutral natures. They've got their hidden abilities, so Seviper has Infiltrator, Zangoose has Toxic Boost. The advantages or disadvantages in this battle are going to come from their typing and their base stats, but everything else is all up to the Metronome. Let's go. A centuries-old feud is about to be rehashed. We have Seviper taking on Zangoose. Who will emerge victorious? Let's find out. Let's have a little bit of fun along the way. Look at that beautiful blue shiny right there. Of course, the Zangoose team is going to start things off, so regular Zangoose will start proceedings. Going to go for Synchronoise, which is a bad move because it will only affect Pokemon of the same type as Zangoose, which is its partner. That was a very big mistake, dealing damage to Shiny Zangoose on the first turn rather than the opponents. Here comes Shiny Zangoose with a Sucker Punch, but it is going to fail. This is very unfortunate. Bad start for the Zangoose team. Here comes Shiny Seviper with Nature's Madness, which is going to halve the HP of the regular Zangoose. This is a terrible start for the Zangoose team. It is all Seviper from the word go. What will regular Seviper do as a follow-up? Going to go for Shadow Ball. There you go. There's a mistake for the Seviper team because, of course, Ghost-type moves will not affect normal-type Pokemon. Shiny Zangoose needs to redeem its team. Gonna go for Glare and paralyze one of these Seviper. Gonna go for the Shiny Seviper. Shiny Seviper is now paralyzed and may have trouble moving, and of course is now the slowest thing on the field. Here's regular Zangoose with a Tail Slap. I mean, it's a stab move, I guess. It's doing a decent amount of damage. Shame it only got 2 hits right there. Shades of Minccino and Chinchino. Here we see Barrage coming out. Seviper saying, hey, you want to do multi-hit moves? I got multi-hit moves, but only gets 2 hits on the Barrage there. It's time for Shiny Seviper, who is not paralyzed this turn. What will it do? Going to go for Absorb, which is not going to do a great deal of damage, but it's damage nonetheless to an already below half maximum HP Zangoose, who is going to retaliate right now. What will it go for? It's going to go for Super Fang, which of course would have halved Seviper's HP, but of course didn't hit, so didn't get the opportunity to. Here's a Soak, though, coming out from Shiny Zangoose onto Shiny Seviper, changing Shiny Seviper to a Water type. Will that come into play later on? We'll just have to sit back and find out later. Here's regular Seviper with Mist. Kind of pointless, not gonna lie. Bit of a waste of time, but you do you, my dude. Time for Shiny Seviper, who is fully paralyzed. That's very, very unfortunate right there. So Shiny Seviper does not get to move. This is the opening that the Zangoose team needs. Here's Shiny Zangoose going for Nightmare, but nobody's asleep, so that was a really wasted move. Okay, can regular Zangoose capitalize here? What's it going to do? Going to go for Gear Grind onto regular Seviper. Massive damage there. Critical hit on the first hit. Is it going to get a second critical hit? No, just the 1 critical hit there. But 2 hits, putting Seviper in the danger zone right there. What will it do here in response? Going to go for Reversal. Oh my goodness. That's massive super effective damage. Takes down Shiny Zangoose. Holy moly. Good night. That reversal was incredible. Here comes Shiny Seviper with the follow-up. What will it do? Goes for Frost Breath. It ain't going to do a great deal of damage, but it's going to do damage nonetheless. Brings Zangoose very close to death with that critical hit right there. It is looking very dangerous for Zangoose right now. What is Zangoose going to do here? Zangoose is going to go for Mud Slap. It is super effective. it is gonna... Oh, it's not super effective because that Seviper is a water type. What a... Oh, the Soak actually ruined their strategy. High jump kick, super effective from Seviper onto Zangoose, takes it down easily, and Seviper reigns victorious. My goodness. That was a very dominant showing by Seviper, but let's not forget that Zangoose helped by not having a clue what the hell it was doing. So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, now it's time for you to make your decision. Which of these two counterpart Pokemon do you prefer? Is it Seviper or Zangoose? Let me know in the comments below and explain to everybody why your pick is the absolute best. And that's where I'm going to leave this episode of Form Fight. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to support the channel like these wonderful people down here do, you can pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainAliam. And of course, for live streams 5 days a week, head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainAliam. But until next time, I'm AceTrainAliam. Keep on training.